As easy as finding a job sounds, application, resume, seems like it's all just one part of the plan, finding a job. Finding the time is a lot harder than what you think it is. As a high school student athlete who right now during baseball season has to practice games every single day and then along with hours of homework, it's hard to find a job that will fit my schedule. And the reason why we made Flexi is it helps with my flexibility in my schedule, and it allows people to find jobs and that will work with their time schedule.
So finding a job is a difficult process. Finding a job is a difficult process, and when you have a crammed schedule, it's even harder to find hours in your day to work. So we made Flexi to solve this problem. I'm Allie and I'm a sophomore.
And I'm Eddie and I'm a senior.
And this is Flexi. So as we said, our problem is that students are very busy because of sports and other extracurriculars, but they need to find a job. So Flexi is a website we made to organize like your hours and be able to find a job based on your schedule. And we also have a system more specifically for like athletes where you can swap jobs with other athletes based on like your on season and your off season. So for example, if someone has a sport in fall and another one has a job in the spring, when one is off their season, then they can take on that job for them.
Yeah, so say maybe you're back for a winter break during college, or you're done with your trimester, and say that you can, you want to find a job, you want to make money during that break. That job, if it's not taken out, you can fill that in, and we will work around your schedule to do so. So our market size, so we had to change it up. So our last Psalms were about how finding how many people would buy our product as customers, not employers. And so 28% of the people in ages are 15 to 34, and 50% of people in McKinnon County are ages 15 to 34, and then 14.8% of people in the Algonquin are 15 to 34, which that's like our target marketing is young high school athletes. So our estimated revenue is McKinnon County's population is 311,000, and with business owners only being 5%. Our subscription now is $25 a month instead of $25 for 3 months for the customers who want to seek for jobs. Now it's $25 a month for the employers, and our estimated revenue is about $392,000, which we're going to aim for about a fourth or maybe a fifth of it, which is around maybe $60K.
So our competition and what sets us apart. So some of our like bigger competition includes Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn. So basically what sets us apart is that instead of just being like able to find a job based on like what you're interested in, we have that schedule that you can input to find like specifically what hours you want, and then also the kind of interviews that you prefer. And then for our changes for our MVP, so originally for our MVP pitch in February, we made a Google Sites, like just as a simple example.
So this was our old Google Sites back in January when we first made the website.
And these are the sign-in forms as well.
And we had another page with FAQs.
And then for our more final site, we made it on Wix. Okay. So it mostly just has the same things as our Google site, except transferred over, and then more neater looking, as well as where people can contact us, and then the pricing. So businesses would buy the subscription here to be able to look for jobs.
And the main reason why we wanted to upgrade from Google Sites to Wix is that it allows us to start with the subscription, or like when we get our domain and stuff like that, it'll allow us to start with the online payments, and it was a lot easier for us to have people fill in their information because You could fill your phone number, contact information, all that, and it was a lot easier than the Google sites because it was very slow.
And also, from our MVP to our more final thing, we changed from charging students to charging businesses because we got more feedback that it makes more sense to charge businesses, and we agreed with that because students are using our site to get a job, and then after that, they're probably not going to like really use it anymore. So we would make more money long term from businesses looking for employees.
And if we wouldn't be charging the employers, aka the companies, then we wouldn't be making any money necessarily because they would just be taking our employer or our customers for free. So our marketing tactics. So we have QR codes, school scoreboards here at Huntley, social media ads on our Instagram page, and then our business cards, which we'll later get into. So our QR code, so typing URL is as much of a hassle as really anything, especially with, you have your HTTP and all this stuff with your link. QR codes will take you immediately to our forms. So we have our sign-up form, and then our employer, which is our sign-up form. These are the two same things, and then we have our employer form for the company. And then our student survey results. So this is not super updated. We have a lot more people, but it hasn't really changed in aspect of the graph. So a lot of people preferred online interviews instead of in person, which we discussed about deleting the interview questions, but the data we got actually helped us. And then the tags with the sorting really of the company. So with one of our forms, it'll allow us to filter out what you want to work in. You want to work in retail, or you want to work in agriculture, or you want to work in these type of fields. We'll fill that in for you. Another thing with the school scoreboards. So since our target is mainly high school students, we want to make sure that they are interested in our product and it's right at their eyes. People are always at different venues at high school sports, especially with football. I think if they're going to be, keeping an eye on the scoreboard, I think with us, our color green, I think it'll pop a lot more. And then with social media advertising, we have a Instagram page. It's at flexi.web. We do post. With a lot of things moving towards the digital world, having a social media like this does help a lot. We post highlights, our Google Forms, and we have the links to our websites. And then finally, our business cards. So we will hand out business cards eventually, but this is our design. Once we have the domain for our website, our Flexi Instagram page, and our email, and then we have the QR code on the other side as well. So for our funding, so Wix is it's on sale right now for $18 a month. It's at $36, and they raised their price in $32.36. So for a year, it'd be around $216, and for business cards, it's around $20 to $25. So getting our name out to people who may be interested for the business cards will definitely help. So we're looking around $236, but for a little bit more space, I'd probably say $250.
So our BMC shows our changes from the beginning of the year to now. So for example, we added a lot more features, such as like resume assistance and stuff like that, because when we interviewed people around the school, a lot of them didn't know about resumes and stuff like that. So we plan to offer like services that can help them with that. And then also, again, the interviews thing, like a lot of people were concerned with the kind of interviews. So in our Google Forms, we had like questions based on like what kind of interviews, so they could find jobs that had the interviews that they were interested in. And then also, again, our website is a Wix website, and we make our profit off of the charge for businesses.
So yeah, there's our Instagram and our email, flexiwebsite2024@gmail.com. Starting off, the main reason why I wanted to make this website and company was it's going to help me and a lot of other high school student athletes that are in a lot of trouble trying to find a job. And out there with a lot of hiring opportunities, I think it'll definitely help a lot of people who are trying to find a job that's going to fit their schedule. Thank you guys.
Okay, great job. I love the concept. As a former high school, college athlete, I can relate to that crazy schedule and how unpredictable your hours are, and so I think the concept is great. But I think your focus in your presentation is all about those people, those athletes, those students, but really your customer is the employers. So when you say your customer segment is high school students, it's not. Your customer segment is employers. If they're the ones that are going to pay, they're the ones that you need to recruit. The students, the job seekers, they're going to be there. But if you don't have employers for them to go to, then you don't have money and you don't have jobs. So I think you need to switch your focus onto how are you going to get employers. So you said you're going to advertise at high school games, you're going to advertise, no, you got to go find the businesses. So how are you going to find employers? How are you going to talk to businesses? What's your sell going to be to them on why they want these flexible employees? Because that's going to be a harder sell to them because they're generally going to want people that are not needing flexible schedules. They want consistency. They want people that can fill a schedule consistent. So you're going to have to work on how are you going to sell to these employers, hey, these are, and I would say these are hardworking individuals. These are athletes. These are people that, have to work, know they have to go above and beyond to work, and they, will help you with that system. And then I also don't think you touched on what is your process for connecting employers with employees. So how are you bridging that gap? So you get this form in that a student wants a job. How are you connecting them with an employer?
So how our website is going to work in the future, basically when we add all the features and stuff like that, is people would fill out this form just to get started, and then they're based on what they're interested in. So for example, if someone selects retail, it'll show them those retail jobs that they want, and then we also plan to put tags on it and stuff like that to sort them. For example, this job, you have to be 18 to work or something like that. So the Google form is more the first step, not the set in stone it's only going to show you this. Our website itself is going to be flexible too, and showing people what they want. And then once they see that job they want, they're able to show that they're interested in it or in some way, so that they can set up an interview with the business. Our website is the middleman, people can contact the businesses through it to set up that interview and stuff like that.
Okay, so there's not, your organization is not directly connecting them. They will have to reach out to them.
Well, they'll reach out to them through our website.
Okay.
To set up the interviews and stuff like that.
Okay, so to address that specifically, again, to Nancy's point, you're making the individual applying for the job your customer. You need to make the business the customer. So if I were you, what I would consider is taking in the applicants, right, the individuals, the students, whoever it may be, and having them select what industry they're interested in, and then going back to your employers and saying, I have 12 different candidates for your open jobs. You can review the resume. You can determine if you want to select any of these based on their availability and what you are looking for. I think that that's a good pivot for you to do, rather than saying, oh, well, then the student can select what they want to. The student could say, no, thank you, I don't want that thing. I would leave it in the hands of the employers, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are giving you the revenue, right? So that would just be a switch for me. And then you're giving 10 people to maybe 2 employers as opposed to one employer to one person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you?
That's that whole concept, you gotta focus on the employer.
Okay, I had a couple things. One thing that you see with subscriptions is a bundle option, so you can do it monthly, you can do it then at a little bit of a reduced cost for 6 months, and then a little bit more of a reduced cost for 12 months. I would consider adding that option. So that way you might be able to get somebody locked in for longer and get more upfront cash from that specific business. I was a little confused with the concept of online interviews. Is that like a Zoom?
Yeah, that would be like a Zoom, like a video call.
Okay. I find that odd. I find that interesting to hear that students want that because I'm fairly certain employers typically don't unless it's like a adult job. Would you agree with that? Okay. I would probably X that from your options because the jobs that I think you're trying to fill the positions for likely won't go down that path, just kind of conceptually. And then you mentioned additional assistance. Who would provide like the resume assistance, for example?
So once we make a profit, once we make some revenue, we would hire somebody that works in like that certain field that like knows what they're doing with like resumes and will help younger students and kids our age.
Okay. 2 thoughts. One, would you charge them for that service? Would you pass that service fee through?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 thoughts. One, I would charge a little bit on top of it so that you can get a little bit of profit on that. But then 2, to consider something maybe free of charge, a lot of colleges and a lot of business programs, I don't know if the high school one does, but a lot of universities, especially the community colleges, offer those services to people for free. So it might be worth partnering with like an MCC or an ECC to say, hey, does your business program help resume writing? And then that way you're kind of offering that service for free. So.
And I think partnering with like a junior college like that, I think that might get us more opportunities for different companies as well.
I would agree with you. And then the last thing, have you determined what types of companies, whether they're specific or industry specific, need the seasonal/flexible employees? Have you gone down the path of just kind of thinking that through? Your retail stores during the holiday season is going to be a huge one. Sometimes like outdoor seated restaurants would be a good one for summer. Have you thought through? Yeah, lifeguards. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We didn't really like think it like through completely yet. We were kind of going off like who was interested in like what they were wanting to work in. But I get like the lifeguard and like these different seasonal. Like I was thinking of like all the shops in the commons. Like those are definitely a big hit during like winter and during the holidays.
So just again shifting your whole focus to being the employer, because no matter what, you guys are going to need jobs. Like, you guys are going to be going to college, you're going to be in high school, I don't know if your parents buy you cars, if they make you buy your own cars or whatever it may be, but you need money in some capacity, so you guys will always need a job. The employers are the ones that you want to entice to utilize your service.
One of the things as you're trying to find those employers, right, you have to have a good number of people that are on the website for people to utilize those things. And I think, Nancy said, how do you get out in front of them and have that so that you're not necessarily just going cold calling business to business? That takes time. The whole purpose is to try to save time. For some of those things is connect with your chambers. You know the areas, how far students are probably willing to drive from this area, and reach out to the Chamber of Commerce to see, do they have some kind of an event where you could come and speak to all large number of businesses, get that out there. Maybe even get some feedback on what are they looking for to be able to tweak some of those pieces, because then instead of one business at a time, you're going to have a large number. You're going to have to do that for some of the local areas here, but I think that would be very, very wise to get out in front of the large groups.
I definitely think getting a good amount of people, then going after the company, I think that would be a good idea to do.
Great.
Oh,
So I can for you. Okay.
So the other thing I think you guys have to be aware of is that you're talking about, hey, are you looking for agricultural jobs? Are you looking for warehouse jobs, that kind of thing? when you put yourself in the middle of that, I think you're also putting yourself in the middle of the possibility that someone gets injured on the job, that you guys are liable, or could be liable for that. So that's another thing you want to make sure that you guys explore, that by kind of interceding as an intermediary, that you don't put yourself on the hook for something that could go wrong, whether it be accidents or harassment or anything else that might go along with those positions that you're trying to have people fill.
Yeah, I mean, trying to have people fill positions like in a different, like machinery or something like that where you can easily get injured, I think that like we're gonna have like specific certifications to be filled out in order for you to take those jobs.
All right, we're good there. Thank you. Thanks, guys.